Hi, everybody. It's Friday night. Welcome to PoliTarology. I'm here with some of my very favorite subjects, who are also political. And I'm so happy that you all are joining me here tonight. This is my favorite game, and we love playing it for you. So everybody sit back and relax and get ready for some fun readings. And if you have a political question, please put it into the chat in all caps. I'm Colleen Pearl, the Cool Crone, your host, and I'm going to ask each one of my guests to tell you all about what's going on with them. And I'm going to start with Val. Hi, Val.
Oh, hi.
Not to put you on the spot or anything, but boom. Yeah.
Boom. Hi, everyone. Sunday, I believe it is, with Gerald. There's going to be a show. I'll let Gerald tell you about that. And then on Monday, it'll be the Mystic 4 on Dragonfly Crystals, my channel. Gerald will be hosting as usual because we love Gerald hosting. So catch us there at it's 4. Is it 4 o'clock? Yeah, 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern time.
Yes.
And other than that, my usual shows, you can look on the community page for that. There's still time to sign up for the Akashic Record reading class, September 21st. You can find that on dragonflycrystals.store. Thank you.
That's easy for you to say. Okay. All right. So thank you, Val. Shari, hi, how are you? What's going on?
Colleen. I missed you.
I missed you too. I missed everybody.
Oh my goodness. Well, right now for tomorrow, I have a live with our favorite twins, Gary and David.
Oh,
from
nice.
Twin Tarot. They're coming on tomorrow afternoon. And then, of course, the slumber party at 11 o'clock p.m. Central Time. This week, I'm going to have Helen, Irish Granny Tarot, and Allie, Heart and Soul Connected, are going to be my guest.
Nice.
And Sunday is my regular show with Isaac. And we're going to be talking about how parents handle stress when they have a special needs child, as opposed to how a single parent handles stress with a special needs child, with or without support from family or communities. So, yeah.
So,
and then
such good topic.
Regular stuff after that. So,
okay, great. Such good topics. And Cleo, my sister, how are you?
I'm good. So on Monday, I'm doing Mystic 4 with Val and Gerald and whoever else shows up.
Allison.
And, well, I haven't seen Allison for a while, but hopefully she'll be there. I've missed her. So, and then on Thursday, I've got Golden Girls, and Val will be hosting that. And then next Friday, a week from today, I got the Cool Crone Oracle.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, I will be firmly planted in front of the TV to watch the debate.
Yes. 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 Thank you very much for reminding us all about the debate. Gerald, hello.
Hello, I'm Tarot Stash. I am thrilled to be here. I am hosting on Sunday, 2:30 Eastern Time, readings with the Clarity Tarot with Val, Jeff from Tarot Ask Backwards, and Deborah Zackow. So this is a follow-up to the deck casual that we did.
Yay.
I have a show with Jane on Monday about vortexes and portals. Mystic 4, I'm on with Twillo Lifestyle Community. And just added, I just got it confirmed. On Tuesday, I'm doing a laugh and learn about silence and how to be comfortable in silence. And that's with Medium Betsy Palmer, Hershey the Shadow Reader, and Hexa. I'm looking forward to that.
Cool. That sounds really, really cool.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. So I'm Colleen Pearl, the Cool Crone, and I'm a little bit crazy these days because I'm trying to do 85 things at the same time. But so far, I'm doing them, although I have given myself a couple of days off to be able to kind of decompress. And so I have no idea what's going on in my channel. I'm just kind of showing up when my calendar tells me to. So probably in October, I'll be able to be a little more cogent. Okay, so let's dispatch with all of that and let's move on to PoliTarology. I'm so excited to get to do this. I've been like chomping at the bit to do some political tarot with all the stuff that's been going on. And the first thing that I want to put out there is that I've been waiting to say this for about 40 years. Dick and Liz are voting for Kamala. Now, do we know which
Yeah.
I'm talking about?
The Cheneys.
Yes, the Cheneys. I just had to say it like that. Okay, so what do we think will be their involvement, if anything, in helping them in their campaign? I mean, they're going to vote for her. Are they going to promote her? Are they going to do anything? Inquiring minds want to know.
Well, I think Liz has already definitely endorsed her to an extent, but what they don't want to do is say no. We're voting for a Democrat, but we are still Republicans, and so I mean, Liz Cheney has this desire and wish that the Republican Party will eventually get back to the way she thinks it should be, or the way a lot of Republicans think it should be. The if there is such a thing, the normal Republican Party, and that really won't happen until they can eliminate Trump. But I think Liz Cheney sees Donald Trump as an extreme danger to democracy, and also that he's a convicted felon. So she's not really really big on that. But I happened to throw some cards, and I don't usually do cards on this particular show, but this thing fell out, and so I just thought I'd show you this.
Madam President.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Wow. Hey,
Wow.
I do want to go first because with this, because
Go for it.
you were asking about Dick and Liz. What's going to happen? I have Temperance upright. They are really doing what Cleo was talking about. They're mixing things. They're putting their energy into something that's going to try to bring some balance and make some things work out. Are they going to be involved? I've got the Three of Wands. They're going to be helping bring others along and to help point the way and welcome others to this way of thinking and be brave, because this is the ship coming in. And then I have the World, which is things are going to be changing. So, boom.
Oh, I love that.
So,
and much like that, I got Liz Cheney as the Queen of Swords. This is about her responsibility to speak the truth and get things out. She has suffered her share of losses and things that have come up, but she really feels that it's her responsibility to balance everything, because this is the card next to the Queen of Swords. She feels a very, very big responsibility. And will she help? Absolutely. Here's her working at the craft, doing what she needs to do to bring it. And along with that, she's going to say, lighten up. It's time. So what does lighten up mean? It means bring the light, bring that beautiful energy of the Kamala Harris campaign with Tim Walz as VP. And even though Cheney has some thoughts about what will happen in her future, she does have the Sun card. So she's going to put the effort forth. She's not just saying lip service. She will get out there. Yeah.
Okay, Sherry, what do you have? Thank you. Thank you, Val.
I drew the drunken sailor because that's how they're viewing Trump right now, as the drunken sailor on his sinking ship. And I think part of it is causing them to look in the mirror at themselves, and they're not very happy with what they've seen.
At
And
themselves, you're
because of
saying?
that, huh?
They're looking at themselves, you're saying?
Yeah, that's what
Ooh,
the Cheneys are looking at
interest.
themselves.
Okay.
And they're not, what I'm picking up is they haven't been real happy with what they've seen. Because I think deep down they realize that a lot of what they did in the past is what led us to this point.
All right.
You know, Poppy Deer was quite involved in very sketchy shenanigans, and so I think he feels like he's got some atonement to make now that they've seen what they're doing has led them. Because then I drew the Three of Pentacles. So they're looking at this as teamwork. They have decided to get on board with Kamala and Tim, and they're going to be part of the team. At the same time, I think, especially with where Liz is concerned, this is going to open the door for her for the independents and those that sit and kind of waffle from side to side down the road when she decides to run for president. She'll be able to draw on that because they'll see her as someone who's willing to work both sides of the aisle, not as a complete partisan one way or the other. And then the last thing I got was the Ten of Pentacles, which is showing hard work is going to pay off, Now, could that mean we're going to have a President Liz in the future? It could. Does that worry me? It does. But at the same time, maybe what she experiences by doing this and by having her daddy do it with her will help her change some of her deep down belief systems. I mean, and that's all we can pray for, right? Is for them to
And
see.
I think you got a point there, Sherry, because I remember when she found out her sister was gay and she went to her dad, she cut her sister off and she told her dad, blah, blah, blah. And her dad said, no, absolutely not. She is your sister and you have to you love her and accept her just as she is, just how she shows up. So she's willing to shift when she is shown the higher way to go about things. And she shared that story.
Yeah.
To show that. I love that story that she tells on herself. And, she was willing to throw her sister to the curb over a belief system. And then she changed that. So I love that.
And
So
to look
she
at what
is
she did
able
with the
to do
J6 committee. I mean,
Yeah.
she was willing to put aside her own partisan beliefs because she was so enraged by what they attempted to do that she was like, no, we this is not doable, and she was
Right.
willing to step out
For
and
the
be a leader,
principles, for the
and that-
rule of law, for the principles
right,
of the
exactly.
Constitution.
So, I have hope that maybe it will make some strong psychological, emotional, spiritual changes within her as a person to be a better leader in the future, regardless of what letter she wants to put after her name. I don't care. But if she learns and absorbs, then she's able to move forward and hopefully help others that were sucked into the madness to move out and come forward and learn as well.
Right.
Nice.
So
very nice
that's
reading.
my glass half full outlook.
Very nice.
I totally agree with Sherry. And also, my guides have been telling me about Liz Cheney for a long time. And, her and her dad have had numerous conversations about what's going on. And part of her initial problem, even though she did all the January 6th stuff, if you go back before that, she did, vote for all the things that Trump was wanting to do. And now, and then, she started to feel like that she'd really been blindsided and that she'd gotten herself into, because she is such a full-fledged Republican. She wanted to support the Republican president, but after what she tried to redeem herself a little bit with the January 6th thing.
Yeah.
And I can't. For a while there, it was just so important to watch what she was doing because she really exposed the whole thing. But she was really having a problem of, do I want to stay Republican? Well, she was born into that family. She's her whole life she's been Republican, and she really believed in the Republican Party, but she was disillusioned. And now she's coming around thinking, okay, maybe right now she's going to go beyond the party and go for what is best for the country. So she's setting a good example.
Okay, all you little white light bunnies, I'm going to burst your bubble now. I do not believe that the Cheneys are all love and light, right?
No.
I do
No.
believe that they are doing this because they do not want Trump to have power. And I don't believe that Dick Cheney is particularly afraid of Donald Trump. I think he just hates him because he's just doing all of this stuff the wrong way and he's letting his mental illness get the better of him. So I think that also Liz Cheney yeah, she really does want to thwart Trump, but she also sees an excellent opportunity to put herself out in the public spotlight again. And let's face it, being a professor in Virginia is just not cutting it for her. So and also the way she announced it was just at a presentation that she was doing, I believe, at the University of Virginia where she teaches. So it was just kind of an offhanded remark that she was going to be voting for Vice President Harris. So I think that the wheel of fortune has really turned for her, and she's gonna maximize this opportunity just like she maximized the opportunity on the January 6th committee. Not that she didn't do good work, but she do not believe that this woman does not have an agenda.
Oh, she's
no,
totally
Oh,
done.
absolutely not.
She and her
Absolutely.
father have absolutely nefarious agendas. Now, I see the Queen of Swords here as Kamala because for me, swords represent air signs and Kamala is an air sign. But I also get the King of Swords, and I don't know really who that is. That might be Dick Cheney, but I think he's pretty ill. I don't know if he's going to be actually able to do much to throw his weight behind anybody. But I did pull up Liz's chart because I was thinking to myself, how old is she? Because Shari was saying, she's kind of having these ideas that she needs to atone or that her father needs to atone. Now, I don't know what the age, I don't know Dick's chart at all. I'm going to have to look at it. But Liz's chart, so interesting. She's coming up on her second Saturn return. She has Saturn in Pisces, and so she's had Neptune sitting on top of her Saturn, obscuring things for, 18 years or something ridiculous like that. And right now she's got Saturn edging closer and closer and closer to her own Saturn, even as we approach the election. I looked at the planets for the election. That was the quickest thing that I could pull up. She also has Uranus falling on or just falling away from her North Node. So yeah, she's looking at her destiny. And when she was doing probably that, the January 6th committee, that's probably when that was really tight. And that was just blowing her mind that she was doing this against a Republican. But the Republican she was doing it against was a pretty disgusting creature. And she began to see that. So from Mike, I also got the 3 of Wands. So I do think that her and her dad are strategizing, as many days as he has left, or maybe years, I don't know, but he does seem pretty sick. So I don't know. I'm just wondering how old he really is. For all I know, he could be.
He's in his 80s, his 70s or 80s.
I think he is.
If he's in his late 80s, he could be coming close to his third Saturn return. If he's close to 90, if he's between 86 and 90, he could be coming up on that. And so it would be extraordinary if they went through that together. But I think that they're very linked. I mean, you always hear one with the other, so I think they're very, very close at any rate. What are you going to say, Gerald?
He's 83 years old.
Okay, so he's a little ways away from it. But they are very much linked astrologically too, because their fates are linked, their political fortunes are linked, their family fortunes are linked. So that's what I see there. But what I think is that they are going to help the campaign for Harris Waltz as long as it puts them in the spotlight in favorable ways. I don't think they're going to be a surrogate of any kind. I think that but I do think that they will do some events for them with an eye towards keeping her, that's Liz, in the public eye, so they don't forget about her and they don't forget what a powerful political force she really is. But I don't think she's doing it for white light and bunnies. I think that she's doing it
No. I definitely
her own
believe
agenda.
she's doing it to
Further her own.
grease the wheels down the
Yeah.
road.
Yeah, I think so
I
too.
think she wants to be instrumental as far as leading the Republican Party back into whatever the hell it is the Republican Party wants to be.
Oh, yeah.
Without the mega. She wants to get rid of the mega people and Trump and go back to the way things, go back to the things she believes in. I'm not saying that what she's doing, that that I support her on this or anything.
No,
I'm
not saying that.
doing.
I'm not saying that either. It just sounded very, everybody's reading was just so positive and generous. And I'm like, yeah, she's, what's that?
I was going to say my reading showed she had delusions of grandeur coming, and the sun card next to that. So she has a hidden agenda. She has all these concepts in her mind about what she wants to bring forward. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. She really is a strong character. But what happened to her, I agree with all of you, but her conscience weighed on her. It was the Jan 6 thing that put her over the line. She ate everything. She ate it all and stuffed it in, even though she didn't agree with some of it. It was a distasteful thing, but it was for the Republican Party till the Jan 6. That broke the camel's back. She couldn't stand it anymore. But she really sees herself as a presidential candidate.
Oh yeah, she really does.
Oh,
she really
absolutely.
does. And one
like I said, she's looking at this as a means to, down the road, she's going to have that favorable view, especially from those in the middle that aren't committed to one side or the other. And I think that's what she's counting on.
Yeah, and I agree, Deb. Yeah, Liz does want to be the founder of the New Republicans. I'm thinking, though, I keep picking up on things in the news about the Civil War era and how backwards things were then, as far as like it was the Democrats who wanted slavery and the Republicans who wanted to eliminate slavery. They were just opposites, right? And over the course of the the evolution of the next, I don't know when exactly it happened, but then the parties kind of switched in their values and in their
civil
ideals.
rights movement.
Not till the 60s. So
I think it started happening before then, but the civil rights when
Johnson
signed the civil rights into law.
Well, but I thought the Kennedys.
That's what really broke the Dixiecrats.
Okay.
Called them
all right.
time.
Yep. I remember that too. So a couple of other things about Liz, though. She is a Leo, as somebody pointed out. And right now Mars is transiting right over her sun and Mercury. So she's being very vocal, very active. But Leo's a fixed sign. She also has Taurus rising, also a fixed sign. So that evolution that she had to go through about her sister was incredibly painful, very difficult for somebody with that much fixed energy and to go through. But she does have a lot of planets in the third house for brothers and sisters. So of course she bent to the love. The thing that saves her is that she does have a moon in Sagittarius, which is very good for the United States chart and the United States government in general. and her Saturn is in Pisces, so she does have a heart, but boy, she really covers it up. She really covers it up. And but that moon in Sag really gives me hope that she can be fair, that she can fight for the underdog, that she can really look at things in a more philosophical way rather than an emotional way, and just go by the things that she wants. So I don't like I said, I got to look at Dick Cheney's chart now. I'm really curious about what their connections are. But I think, she probably does really have high hopes of becoming president someday. But
Yeah.
we'll just have to wait and see. Okay. That was great. That was a good that was only our first question. So here we go. All right. So okay. Now I don't really know if there's much of a question in this, but most of the other stuff is about Russia and Trump. So Kamala Harris managed to raise $361 million in August from nearly 3 million donors. So that means like the highest donors had to be probably $1,000 or less. And then the rest of them were probably small dollar donors like you and me. So what will be the reaction from the Trump side about all of this fundraising? Will they ever mention it? And will it keep going for her? Or will there be kind of an end to it?
Well, no, she's way beyond that. That's what she just recently did, was 300 and some million. She has actually done, I think it's close to a little over $800 million.
Yeah. So will the support keep going?
Yes.
And will Trump say anything, ever acknowledge it, say anything about it? And
No.
okay. All right, thank you. So we can move on now.
I
Okay.
want to read that
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Gerald. You read it.
because I'm very curious about that. Is Trump ever going to acknowledge the fact that she's getting all of this? No.
I totally agree.
Because I got the Six of Swords reversed. I got the Emperor reversed. The king is overthrown, is crowned. And I got the Devil reversed. He's not going to say it because it does not make him look good.
No.
That's right.
So
I've all day today I've been listening to all the podcasts for Shrinking Trump.
Yeah.
So I've really got all that in my brain today. Okay, so more Trump shit. Okay. Now Judge Marshon is delaying his sentencing until November 26th, but he will rule on whether any of the issues relate to the immunity charges set up by the immunity for charges that were set up by the Supreme Court. He'll rule on that on November 12th. Is that going to make any difference in what happens to him?
Now, did you all catch? Well, first of all, I'm on the Tanya Chutkin fan club.
Yep.
And that's because what Tanya has done.
But this isn't Tanya. This is Judge Marshon.
I know, but it's Tanya that's the one that is instrumental in deciding what is presidential immunity.
Yeah.
And what she said is what I said she would say, which was, yeah, no, I'm not buying this. I am not buying it. That's basically what she's saying. So this is exactly what we wanted to happen. Now, as far as the timing on these, we knew that none of these trials were going to come up before the election. And that's fine because, once the election has happened, then Trump will realize that he can't keep going back to that same thing, trying to, hey, I'm running for, it's a political thing. And I mean, he'll have to forget about all that. And he is going to be just so screwed because no, he does not have presidential immunity on certain cases, especially. And I see where, what's his name? Jack Smith, how he has, he's redoing the things for January 6th. He's redoing the things for Aileen. What's her name?
He redid the ones for Aileen Cannon.
Yeah, he's redoing all of that stuff. And so things are actually really looking up as far as these court cases go.
Mhm.
And as much as they want to say they're going to relitigate every damn thing that's going on with this. So every time something comes up that looks great, that things are going to work out, then they go back in and reappeal and stuff. I mean, they're just making a huge big mess out of it. And so that might help him right this moment, but it's not going to help him to win the election. And in the end, he's not going to get away with all this stuff. I think he might get away with some things. I think that document case may, I don't know, I've said it was going to be dismissed and that it would never come to light. It would never see a jury, and all that is happening. But it may fall by the wayside. But what we don't want to fall by the wayside is January 6th. And I think that is going to be Trump's downfall.
Good. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Okay, moving on. So more Trump shit. Okay. So after appearing in court to try to get them to overturn the E. Jean Carroll verdict, Trump walks outside to a bank of TV cameras and regales them with a string of past allegations of his own sexual misconduct using graphic language. He strikes out at women everywhere just days before his debate with the second female presidential candidate. Now, how is this helping him? And why is he doing this?
I don't know, but I hope he keeps it up.
Me too. Me too. I don't really see a question there. Does anybody want to read on that, or should we move on? Gerald, are you okay?
Cauldron.
He's just dealing with mother issues.
Okay. Very good. Very good. What were you saying, Val? I missed what you said.
Val, what'd you say?
Cauldron. I had the cauldron.
Mommy issues. The womb. Yeah. He wants to go back to the womb. Okay. So now we have three separate things having to do with Russia. And I know I don't really know if there's a question in this, but I just want to remind our loyal viewers that several months ago we had a show where we really went all over the place about how Russia is still interfering. They never stopped interfering. Right. They're going to town. All that crap you're getting, your robocalls on your phone, all the stupid spam emails you're getting, all the crap on Instagram, Facebook, every social media you can think of is all Russian bots. It just is. This is just a proof. And now we have first Russia. The DOJ is indicting a Tennessee company hired by Russia to disseminate information which indicates increasing interference in U.S. politics by Russia. The DOJ charged Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign advisor, they didn't give his name, maybe it's this guy that's listed later, with working with a sanctioned, which means that they already said, no, you can't do this. And remember that right after I think, was it Obama? They had to do all these sanctions on Russia, and they had to do it again when Trump came in. And I don't think Trump wanted to do it, but they did it. And so they did have some sanctioned things. And one of them was this Russian state TV, RT, right? They sanctioned them. And yet the presidential campaign advisor was doing business for them and with them. So he was taking the TV network proceeds and laundering the money. And the TV network, okay, it was sanctioned in 2022. And why were they sanctioned? Because of supporting Russia invading Ukraine. And then the U.S. imposed sweeping sanctions just today on hundreds of firms across Russia and Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. I mean, Merrick Garland, when he does do stuff, he really fucking does stuff, for providing products and services to enable Russian war efforts and aid them in evading the sanctions, the aforementioned sanctions. So all this stuff about Russia is coming out. Folks, this is Pluto in Capricorn. This is what happens. Pluto in Capricorn is just digging out those last little, like a bad filling that didn't quite get drilled out all the way. Pluto's doing that now for us. And let's see. Additionally, one last one, and this will make everybody's heart sing. The State Department designated people and firms involved with Russia's energy, metal, and mining exports, drones, nuclear energy, specifically one that is a state owned nuclear energy plant in Russia called Rosatom, and the people and certain people in the US who were involved with kidnapping Ukrainian children and making them identify as Russians and taking them to Russia.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing something about that. And then finally, Zuckerberg says that the White House pressured the Facebook over some of their COVID-19 content during the pandemic. So I'm thinking that's during Trump's administration,
Yes.
not during Biden's.
No.
Okay.
No.
So all these things are coming out now, and that's all Pluto in Capricorn. So let's do some of the starred questions.
Okay.
Gerald, should I start at the top or the bottom? The top?
Go ahead and do the start at the top.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Bruno.
It's good.
You know,
isn't it?
I'm just going to tell you, he knows he's going down. He actually
yeah.
has his, moments of clarity, and there's no amount of repairman that's going to come up and fix him in his campaign. He knows he lost the momentum, and he's already trying to find ways out. This is just to keep the money coming in as much as he can and to keep using the campaign funds for his own purposes until he can figure out when he's going to get out of the country or whatever his new procedure is going to be to get out of all these trials he's facing, all this litigation. So that's my stand on it.
Doesn't it feel like after the shift with Biden stepping down, I just feel like everything that we have said for the last 18 months is probably going to happen at some point.
Yes.
But it's just so messed up, and like I have trouble really pinpointing kind of what's going where. I know it's going,
It's
but
going.
But it's just really,
the time may be a little warped.
yeah.
But it's all there. You can see it lining up like like clicking together.
Yeah.
Like gears.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Something that I'm looking at is I'm still not sure Trump is pants full of poo, understand everything that's going on. There's this still touch of no reality. I have the 8 of Wands reversed. So there's this crumbling, rapid decrease. I have the 5 of Swords reversed, meaning it's really, really dark. And I just think it's very much I don't know if he has the capacity to really understand the depth of what is happening. So maybe I'm being too kind to him, but I'm not going.
Not at all, Gerald, because I think he's never been held to account.
Yeah, he slips into the dementia. He slips in, just like you're saying, and you catch him. You're talking about when he's in one of those states and he's slurring words and saying wrong things, but then he slides back into lucidity for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Does he have the emotional ability to connect with what's actually the gravity of everything? Not necessarily at all. Can he go that deep and figure? No, I don't believe it's calculation. How am I gonna? What is next? What are the things I have to do next?
Yeah.
I think.
And the last card that I have is the 9 of. No, this is great. No, because it adds to what I'm saying. The 9 of Swords upright. So he's having these moments of lucidity and going, "What have I been involved in?" And then he goes back to sleep.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that he has I think he has a lot of sadness. I think he's just a very sad figure now because his bodily hygiene is just gone, and that for somebody who was a germaphobe, that's just such a weird reversal. It's a physical reality to him that he probably, the smell probably doesn't bother him anymore, but his cleanliness, that probably bothers him a lot. And the fact that he's not in control of handling that. So I think there's just a pervasive sadness for him, like all the time, to where if he really did organize his thoughts enough to focus on what he had done as wrong, he would just crumble. He would just be a a wailing, shuddering, weeping mess on the floor. I don't think he could handle it. But what I get is that he still has people around him taking care of him. Probably Walt is still there, and a couple of women show up here. I think one, I don't think it's his daughter, but there is some Queen of Cups there that's trying to take care of him, and also a Queen of Pentacles. That's probably Susie Wiles of his campaign, but he's really sad. And I think he's almost resigned, kind of a King Lear moment to give him a little dignity, that he knows he's kind of walking into his destiny and there isn't anything that he can really do about it. And he may take on a mantle like a King Lear kind of thing. He may take on this idea that, I'm going to march into my future, and like in the sci-fi movies, when when their bodies just pixelate and disappear into little pieces in the universe. I think that's kind of what he imagines his fate to be. Because
I agree with you. Colleen. I totally agree with
it's
you.
all about television and movies and special effects. I mean, his face is a special effect. His hair is a special effect. For him, this is I don't think he can really grasp reality. I don't think
it's a show. He puts on the show.
Yes, it's a show. And for him to know that the show is going to stop, like one of the things that I was listening to Dana, is it Dana Bash, the CNN political reporter?
Yeah.
She was on Pod Save America, and she was saying that the effect of having him muted in the debate when he wasn't supposed to speak was that he just kind of rested. He didn't even make muttering sounds. He didn't make asides, and there was no audience to play to. So he just kind of like shut down for those few moments.
And that points to exactly what I was going to say in correlation with what you're saying. If you feel his energy, everybody's talking about it too. He has no energy.
He has none.
It's lackluster because at some point through his consciousness, he knows, like you said, he's walking to his destiny. Mm-hmm. It's the end of the game for him. Mm-hmm. It's coming to the end.
Yeah, he's like King Lear on the moors, walking over to the cliff and waiting for someone to either push him off or for him to fall over. Like it's very Shakespearean.
It is.
And it's very much, and I feel sad for him.
I feel sorry for him too.
That he doesn't really know what's going on anymore. And I think if he ever understands that he loses this election, I would have thought the other one would have broken him, but he will be even more broken. I think he's already pretty broken though, because of the physical aspect being so out of kilter with what he used to be.
He really was broken on the first time, except when was it Giuliani who went to Mar-a-Lago and said, "You didn't lose,
Giuliani."
The reason why he didn't go completely in the shitter. Pardon my French.
Let's let Giuliani.
It raised his narcissism level up out of the dumper. That was the key for him at that time.
I've got an idea. Let's put Giuliani and let's set him up with a lunch date with Dick Cheney. And see what happens on Dick's ranch.
The way
someone's getting shot in the face, that's for damn sure.
The way the debate is set up with not having an audience, that is so perfect to screw Trump over, because he cannot function without the audience. Yes. That is what keeps him going and motivated, regardless of if he's full, if dementia, if he's overcome with dementia, it doesn't really matter. He needs that input from the audience. So on the debate, I'm so looking forward to it, because I know that Kamala is not going to give him a break. She can out debate him anytime, any place, anywhere. And it's going to be so enjoyable to watch. But, yeah, you guys go ahead. Feel sorry for him.
I feel sorry for the human being that he came in to play this role. He did a great job. And now he's left to do the 3D things about what happens from your the things you do in the world, what you get back from that. And I feel a little bit, if I put myself in his place, it's kind of sad. He came in to do his role. He did it super well.
He created it for himself. The misery that he's going to end up in is everything he has brought on himself.
But it's just a play. It's just a Shakespearean play. And so it's not really his soul. It's the Shakespearean play he's playing. So as a person who's seen a lot of different things in my life, I can still look at that person playing that role and feel a little bit of compassion for them. Not that I, in any way, shape, or form, am condoning anything, but I'm just saying we're all just playing this game inside this matrix. But anyway, so I think at the end of the day, Trump is so muted by the fact that his stadiums are half full and people are walking out. They're sleeping. They're looking up. They're yawning.
They're not even half full.
They're not even half full. And he had to say, this is what the narcissist had to do. I have more people than Martin Luther King.
Yes.
When you have to lie to that gravity, that gravitas, when you have to give yourself that big of an ego boost, you have slipped down to the darkest levels of the basement.
Well, and he can't get over how quickly things shifted. I mean, it was just an overnight thing. Biden bounced, Biden said, okay, I won't run. And Kamala will. And within a day, all of a sudden, she's bringing in this money. She's bringing in hordes of people that just are dying to hear what she says. Everybody's looking all hopeful, talking about joy, the joyful warriors. I mean, it's just driving him crazy.
That's why I say, Cleo, it's a timeline shift because the timeline's already ramped up for Kamala to be president. We already just went right into it. It was already rolling. It was already building steam. It was already coming. We didn't have to do anything. It just happened.
It was just great. I just love it.
And when things happen like that, that's because it's just meant to be.
It's meant to
and,
be.
And everything that was going on with the Trump-Biden war or battle or whatever you want to call it, it just wasn't meant to be. Everything was a friggin' struggle. Nothing was going well for either one of them. So, Sherry, you never got your chance there. Did you want to say something?
No, I was letting everybody talk it out. So.
Okay. All right. So I just think this is a fascinating topic, but let me see what else.
Sherry, did you have a card?
Sherry does have a card.
Yeah. I have several cards I drew.
Please go on. I didn't mean to skip you. Go ahead.
Okay. The first thing I drew was the Knight of Wands reversed. Because he sees himself this way as the courageous romantic leader that I'm coming to rescue you. No, that's not what he is. And followed right behind that came judgment, because that's what he's getting ready to face. And I think a part of him knows that. And that's part of what terrifies him, is because, as we were talking about earlier, he's for the first time, he's having to grasp the concept that he can't bully his way out of this. He can't just make up a story and everybody's going to go along with him, because now everybody's like, no, dude, that's not what happened. That's not how it happened. He's a very broken-hearted man right now. I think that I think deep down he feels betrayed on a level that most of us will probably never experience, simply because of his own inability to trust. If he can't trust others, how does he expect them to trust him? That's a philosophical question for him. And I ended up with the Grim Reaper. So I don't know if I should take this quite literally or just, that it's the end for him. Politically anyway,
Yeah.
And with the dementia, dealing with my mom for 10 years with that, it's really difficult when you see them popping in and out, in and out, and in and out. And it'll make your head spin, much less theirs,
And don't forget, Alzheimer's runs in his family too.
That's right.
And
exactly.
I don't see that really popping up a lot in what he's doing. I see more the dementia, but Martin Luther King was a while ago, dude. You're talking about his crowds. I think the door is opening to that as well.
Exactly.
Really, really bad. Really, really sad and really bad.
Further back, he pulls at things. That's
right.
A bad sign. Yeah.
Right. Yep. All right. So Joan asks, do you think Kamala will ask Adam and Liz to be part of her administration?
That's an interesting question.
I'd be surprised.
I get really positive feelings on Adam.
On Adam, you said?
But not on Liz.
That's where I'm coming from too. Not on Liz.
With Liz, I feel like Kamala's astute enough to know, yes, she could be a great help, but don't trust her.
Right.
Don't trust her any further than you pick her up and throw her.
I get that they might
two very strong women.
Sorry, Sherry.
Really could butt heads, but as long as they're on the same path, the same results, they could be great co-conspirators. But once that job is over, they can really butt heads. But Adam, I think, is a lot more. I just feel like he's a lot more amenable. I saw him on, I don't know, one of the late night shows the other night. I don't remember who it was. And just to hear him talk about everything, and he's got a book coming out, talking about everything that's happened. And it was like, okay, this guy he's waffling right on the line of which area, which direction he wants to flow in.
I kind of heard him talk too, Sherry, and if you hear him talk long enough, he's a little bit scary in his conservatism.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that about him. He's real cute and he talks real sweet, but this is what I get, that they may find some jobs or some committees to put them on, but pay attention because they are who they are, and a leopard doesn't change their spots too easily. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I threw some cards on this, and I think that, I think, like I said before, Liz is getting a little tired of being a professor at Virginia University. She would love to have a government job again. I don't see cabinet because you can't have two big guns in there. Kamala's got to be the big gun, and everybody else has to be her subordinate. But I could see her giving her not the top job in DOJ, but some pretty cool job in DOJ.
Yeah.
She would be good because she would flush out all the rest of those attorneys who are still Trump lovers and who are she wouldn't want that. She wouldn't care if they were conservative and Republican, but the only one who's going to be able to sniff that out is probably somebody who's been in that camp. So I think, and she's a lawyer, and I think she's teaching law right now at University of Virginia. And I think that, this would be a good way for her to stretch and get some political cred back and some some public visibility as, you know, a law enforcement person, you know. So that's what I think.
Heading up the Secret Service.
No,
I
don't think that they're going to give her the head of anything. I think Kamala's going to be real careful with that.
Mhm.
But I could see her as a deputy, as an assistant, as a you know, a UAG, you know, something like that within more the Department of Justice, because they can keep a better eye on her. If she gets into the CIA or the FBI, between her and her father's connections, she'd slip into the woodwork and you would not know what the hell she was doing for the next 4 years. So I think they'd be very careful about that. That's what I have to say. And Adam,
That's very true.
I don't know about Adam. I don't get a feeling that they would. I think they'll find a place for some Republican in the cabinet, but I don't know if it'll be Adam Kissinger.
I'm getting Adam is the Page of Wands.
Mhm.
He's of interest. He's sparkly. He's got
Yeah.
potential. They just want to see where he falls
Mhm.
and how he could fit in.
Mhm.
Somebody had talked about somebody in the chat mentioned an ambassador for either Liz or Adam. But it's a they sort of want to pay attention and help him stick around. Liz is I just got Liz as a no-go. I mean, she's the 3 of Swords, so she's you know, reversed, so continual disappointment. But I also got the 3 of Wands for there's some opportunities. Kamala is paying attention to this. What do we put into the mix? And you know, Cleo, do you have that card that you always hold up? You know, that one. You know, that one. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, she's trying to make this you know, get the best results. So
Let's
there
say
you go.
Madam President. All together, Madam President.
And
Yeah,
you know,
Madam President.
I think Kamala is going to go out of her way to find every top-notch female lawyer in the country that she can and give them as much power as she can.
Yep.
I agree.
That's what I think she's going to do, because I think she just plain trusts them. I think there's a lot of
Thank
male
the
lawyers.
goddess for that.
She just does not trust him. She's like, she can sniff it out, you know. Also, I think her husband, the second gentleman, will be incredibly helpful with this, because he's still a lawyer. He's still, you know, practicing and he's also teaching, but you know, his role is going to change as well. And one of the things that they might charge him with is to be on the transition team and to help to pick, because there are thousands of positions to be filled. Thousands. So, you know, you need a lot of help, and you need a lot of intelligent help. This isn't just an HR exercise. You know, this is very meaningful and big. So, okay, we got a few more minutes. Should we do let's do Artist Liz's question. Do you guys get anything about how Trump supporters, especially the January 6th insurrectionists, feel now that Trump has admitted that he did indeed lose? Well, not just that, Artist Liz, but now that he's been indicted 34 times, now that he's lost and been convicted for all these different counts. Yeah, let's read on that.
Oh, man, they know it's over. Look at the universe. Water flows. You know, this is just the way of life flowing. And they're really accepting that their day in the sun is waning. They made their bed and they're going to have to lie in it. So, yeah.
Already so many Republicans have said that they're going to support Kamala Harris, that they do not want Trump in there because he's either, whether he's mentally ill or whether he's demented, whether he's just a liar and a con artist, you know, and a convicted felon. They just don't want it. So right now there's been many Republicans that have, you know, they're turning their back on Trump, but they're not verbalizing it too much. And also Republican voters, just the regular, they're not politicians, just regular people out there that are going, oh my God, no, we can't have a person like him being the president. We just can't do it. So there's a lot of Republicans that are changing their tune. And, just because so many people are looking at it more about for the country, not for the party. Forget about Republican or Democrat. They're for democracy. And
and let's not forget, he's going to turn 79 this year, Trump, and next year he'll be 80. Let's talk old. Let's talk age.
True.
That's 84 at the end of 4 years.
Yeah.
You're back in the same age,
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing they were saying about Biden, and Trump's 10 times worse because he's got dementia and he's a whatever it is, narcissist. I keep forgetting that word. I've blocked it out of my head because it's
narcissist.
What kind of narcissist? It's what
malignant.
It's what my second husband was. Ugh. PTSD. Sorry. He was diagnosed that. He was horrible. He really was. You think I'm laughing?
No, I laugh because the empathic and people like that are so loving and beautiful always attract those. They're like magnets to malignant narcissists.
Well, especially I was trained by my cuckoo father, who he had narcissistic tendencies, but he was not a narcissist. No. What do you think, Cleo? Was Dad a narcissist? Do you think?
I thought my dad was great.
You always say that.
We had a really different relationship with our father. Okay. But something else I wanted to point out. Okay, so the insurrectionists have got to be so pissed. They have to be so pissed and disappointed. And then the greater MAGA people also, they just got to be so pissed and disappointed. And they're finding it hard to keep their enthusiasm up because it's just so disappointing. But I got to bring one thing up that we read on a long time ago when Vance was first announced. And I said, this guy has it out for Trump. He very much wants to. I mean, now we're in the story of Othello, right? He very much wanted to, knock off Trump and take the top position for himself. Not that he particularly wants it, but Peter Thiel wants him to want it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, think about all of that. The way that if Trump somehow, even if they had him propped up with an IV in his arm and a stick up his back to make him sit, they would get him in there and then they would allow him to just shuffle off to Buffalo in whatever form that he does. Yeah. And then J.D. Vance would be taking over. And then it would be Project 2025 by the book.
Oh, yeah.
Because he can't even go into a donut shop and have a normal conversation with people. This is a guy who has no social skills. He has an inability to communicate properly with people and connect with them. He can't even connect with another human being on a one-on-one level. So, I mean, this person is a handmaiden of Peter Thiel. He's the handmaiden, but he's a guy.
He's a true devotee, right now.
And yet he made it through Harvard Law, and he wrote a book that actually sold. So he can.
And I'm starting to wonder if he really wrote that book or if it was written for him.
Well, that's what I was just getting at. But how did he get through law school? You have to write a lot in law school.
How did Trump get through Wharton's? His sister Mary did the homework.
Yeah, and his dad just paid for a building at Wharton, so they would just push him through. But J.D. Vance,
I'm going to donate to Yale, and you're going to graduate.
Did Peter Thiel put him in Harvard? No,
it wasn't at Yale. Oh, okay.
I could be wrong. It could be Yale.
I thought it was Yale, but it doesn't matter because Peter Thiel was with him every step. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I believe that the book was written for him. I could be wrong, but I don't believe he's able to pull that kind of story out.
Peter Thiel made the way for him.
Yes, he
paid great big old bulldozer. He just shoveled everything out of his way.
Yeah, you're right. It was Yale. I'm sorry.
It was Yale, and he doesn't have the smarts.
Ooh, Yale isn't Yale the one where they have the Skull and Bones Society? That's the really
where all the bushes, the whole
Oh, that's the one where it's very dark. And
you're
totally connected. It's like Illuminati time. Oh,
Illuminati.
Okay.
Illuminati.
prayer breakfast club meeting in the Federalist Society.
So
Run the
I wanna-
world, the secret society that.
Go ahead,
I
Gerald.
wonder about this. Anything about the Trump supporters, especially after this, how they're feeling. I'm going to take a differing view. I think they are digging their heels in. The war's not over yet. If they believe hard enough and they do things, it's going to be a shallow victory with it. All of my cards are reversed.
No.
So this is one of the things they're not really connecting, and they're hoping, but they don't know what to hope for. They don't know anything outside of what they believe. And
So these are the real life lost boys.
yes, yeah. I mean,
Woo,
I
got
have the sun reversed. Look at this emaciated child on that card. They may have won the battle, but it's not a good. It's so and the wheel reversed. This is spinning out of control, so they're cult. We've got to figure out a way to get people out of the cult.
Well, that's just it. There is this group of Republicans that are turning their backs on Trump. Then there's the other group that I don't think you're ever going to change their minds. They will not be able to admit to themselves that they were wrong. They will not be able to admit to themselves that Trump is exactly what he is. They can't accept what's right in front of them because they've been brainwashed really by Trump, who says, this was an illegal election. They pushed me out. I should have been the president, and they believe him. So I don't know. There's that group of people that you will never change their mind. The other group is a more intelligent group of people that realize what's at stake, and that is the democracy. So you've got it's a mess. There's some people that will leave this earth believing in Trump. They'll never quite get it.
Well, and
what makes it harder is the more intelligent they are, the stronger that they hold on, because at some point their brain cannot compute the dissonance that it's feeling from what they're being shown and told is truth and what they've always believed.
And I'm worried.
You just profiled Jenny Thomas.
Yeah. What were you saying, Gerald?
I'm concerned that when Kamala is Madam President, what's the response from this group going to be?
Well, a lot of them are going to be in jail. And also there have been not a lot, but there has been a movement of people who have left the cult and who are speaking out about it and even starting like support groups for it. There was this grandmother who was in her 70s who got arrested on January 6th. She actually just got caught up in the crowd. She was there to hear Trump speak, and she got caught up in a crowd that all went up to the Capitol building. And I listened to her story on Midas Touch, and she ended up getting thrown down by police and, getting kind of beat up and all of this stuff. And when she fought back, they arrested her. And she spent over a year, I think, in jail. I mean, she spent time in jail. And during that time, she really examined what she had done. And she was like, well, yeah, I was guilty. I did fight back. So, that I shouldn't have done that. But I guess I thought I was fighting for my life. I don't know. And she really looked at what she was thinking about. Long story short, she's seen the error of her ways. And she goes around now to different groups and talks to MAGAs that want to know, what was your experience and why are you no longer a MAGA? And she explains to them the process that she went through in jail to come to this revelation. And she's not the only one. They've had a few people on Midas Touch. Yeah. And so if there's a handful of them that have already come forward onto something like Midas Touch, then there has to be a few more. So I think that there is a certain amount of, growing self-awareness among some, but yeah, you'll have a few diehards that'll, and I really believe most of those people that don't give it up, they'll end up in jail. They'll
Right.
end up in jail.
The
And
diehards are the ones that scare me because I see them all over
yeah,
down here where I'm
yeah,
at. I mean,
If that was the
I don't
same
see the
person,
flags and the signs and the posters and everything like I did before. A
mhm,
lot of people are no longer showcasing or highlighting that they are a Trump supporter.
yeah,
And a lot of them have walked away from that and they're like, I can't believe I got sucked in that nonsense. And I've
mhm,
heard
yeah,
them say that. But there's another faction of
mhm,
these people that they scare me. I mean, to be perfectly
yeah,
honest, they scare me. I don't dare put a bumper sticker on my car because I'd probably come out to Ford/tires because these people they have gone beyond just wanting to argue with you about it. It's like they see anybody that's on the other side and their immediate response is to do harm. And those are the ones that scare me. And most of the ones I see like that are locked and loaded and have a closet full of ammo and all kinds
wow,
of
wow,
you know,
wow.
that's what scares me.
Yeah, I know. I have been thinking long and hard about whether or not to put a sign up in my yard, and I finally decided that I'm going to do it because I think there's other people out there that also would do it if they saw somebody do it. And I'm
Somebody else doing
thinking, you know, I protect my house almost every day. So I think I'm going to be okay. And if they slash my tires, I'll get my tires fixed. If they tried to do bodily harm to me, which I don't think they would in this town, but if they did try, they would be arrested and they'd go to jail. And
Yeah.
hopefully they wouldn't kill me. I don't think they would. I haven't heard of any killings in my town because of this. So I think where I'm at, it's a little less volatile than where you are.
Yeah.
But we do have some real Trumpy Trumpsters up here. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get a yard sign and I'm gonna put it up and just see
See,
because
I can't do that anyway because I work for the state, so I can't
yeah.
blatantly show that I support one side or the other. But
Mm-hmm.
that's a double-edged sword because I see people that I know also work for the state who,
Mhm.
if it's on the Republican side, their house is practically wallpapered with it on the outside.
Wow.
And
Wow.
they don't get in trouble. But you let somebody on the Democratic side put a yard sign up or do something, and people come down on their butts for it, and
Because
it's
the power is lopsided where you are. Yeah.
yeah, we have a MAGA governor, a MAGA House, and a MAGA Senate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
we just had our governor just made a big announcement. It was written up in the papers where um, he thoroughly believes that we have mistakenly misinterpreted the Constitution because we've kept church and state separate.
Oh God.
Scary.
Beyond scary. It's beyond scary.
There's
And
the
and he was like he
logical
was the
logic.
attorney general in 2020 when
Oh
all this crap
God.
started. He was our
Oh
attorney general.
jeez. Well,
And
hopefully the
he was one of the
Handmaid's
first
Tale will be
ones that
over soon.
jumped on board and signed up for the stop the steal nonsense. So I'm just waiting to see when are they going to come and arrest his ass, governor or not. I don't care, But
Here's my yard sign.
Yes,
there
I
you
love
go.
that.
That's
That
great.
is great.
That's great. Well, guys, it's been a little over an hour, and I
Mhm.
think I'm going to call it because I got to get up to do the fair tomorrow. And I thank you all for playing PoliTarology with me. As you all know, it is my favorite game, and I love doing it with all of you. So thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for all of your comments and your questions. And I'm just so happy that you're here with me. Vote for democracy, for freedom, for women's rights. Yes, Proxy Roxy. Yes, yes. Thank you. That's a wonderful thing.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So with that, I'm going to say we'll see you in 2 weeks, and vote blue. That's what I got to say. And I'm going to try
Bye,
to get
y'all.
out of here. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.